Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 14 of Small Streamer Diaries. Today I have here with me my friend Captain Clutch 64. Thank you so much for being here, Cap. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much. Please do an introduction of yourself for those that may not know you.
My name is Captain Clutch. I'm a variety streamer over on the purple platform known as Twitch. I stream all the time. I love to play all sorts of different games and meet all sorts of different people. That's pretty much me.
Yes.
Always trying to spread the love.
Yes, and I will have Cap's links in the description. Please check him out, even though he is on the platform that shall not be named. I am a generous god and have decided to allow him to be here today. So I wanted Cap on this podcast because I wanted to talk about how to build a great community, and Cap is really, really good at that. Like building a great community. Like everybody has a community, right? Like every community, like every content creator, every streamer, they have a community. But Cap really makes it like a big focus of his content creation, is what I noticed about you, Cap. And you're really good at like responding, following up, like helping people when you can. Like I think you're just like really good at it. So I wanted to interview you about it and pick your brain about building a community. So my first question to you is, let's say somebody is just starting out, brand new, 0 subscribers, 0 followers, no community. What is the first thing that you would say to that person in order to get started on building a community? What's the first thing you think they should do?
Well, I do believe that everybody should at least attempt to create their own Discord. Discord is a very beneficial place for a lot of streamers if you know how to utilize it in the correct manner. Um, Now, the thing is building your own Discord can take a long time and it's a very difficult process, and you won't always be able to maintain people. But once you learn how to establish your value as a brand, then you're able to really transfer that to other platforms, especially Discord, and build your community up slowly but surely, pretty much. But I would say for someone starting out with 0, I'd say get involved in other people's communities. That's probably the easiest way. Instead of creating your own, I would say get heavily involved with not 20 discords, but 2 or 3 maybe, and then really just dive into conversations, meet new people, make new friends, that sort of thing. If people need help, try to be useful, try to make yourself valuable to other people. That is what streaming is all about, is really building your value up and showing it to the world. That's in my eyes, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
So
So what is it about Discord that you think is so important to a streamer?
I think that Discord is kind of it's a little bit different because most people that have Discord are, especially if you join Discords, they're gonna be like, let's say I like to play video games. Well, most of the Discords that I see on Twitter, because I follow a bunch of gamers, they're going to be gaming Discords.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a perfect place for me to not only receive help if I need it from other streamers that might be bigger than me or more knowledgeable than me, but it's also a good place where I can form conversation with people that like some of the same interests and things as I do. And what makes Discord so unique for smaller streamers is that you can really tackle I guess it's kind of like its own branch, because on social media I can say something, but it doesn't always reach all the ears that it needs to.
Mm-hmm.
Versus because I could be reaching out to people that don't care about games on Twitter. Versus on Discord, if I say something, I know it's going to be reached amongst gamers or streamers or people that do content creation, whatever. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if you were to have a Discord that was only about podcasts, right? You're a lovely
Mm-hmm.
podcast host. Well, if I
Thank
reached
you.
out on your podcast or on your Discord and said, "Hey, what should I ask the person I'm interviewing? What are some good questions? Blah blah blah, whatever." Well, I would expect and hope that your Discord would kind of help me out with that, and
Mm-hmm.
along the way of me being in your Discord, I would meet some friends and people that could, you never know, turn into viewers, or we're all trying to build ourselves up. So that's kind of one
Okay.
of the processes, is really getting involved with Discord. I feel like that's a really good starting place for streamers.
Okay. Yeah. So it sounds like to me, because people choose to join a Discord, it's, it's you're more connected to people that like want to be there. Whereas like if you post something on Twitter, like anybody could see it. And it's not necessarily like the people who want to see the tweet.
Right.
Okay. Got it.
Discord is almost like more of a one-on-one session,
Yeah.
whereas Twitter or Instagram, whatever, it's kind of like you're just speaking out to a huge crowd of people.
Mhm.
And some might listen, some might not. That's kind of the difference. And I feel like obviously personable connections and stuff, one-on-ones means so much more than, speaking out to a crowd.
Yeah.
You can really, tell the world about your brand, and that's a good thing, but it's so much better when you draw those personal connections one-on-one through platforms like Discord.
So what is your personal story of how you got started building a community?
Lots of failure.
Yeah.
lots and lots of failures. Lots and lots of mistakes, but you know what? I did it one step at a time, and where I'm at now is not where I'm going to be a year from now. I'm going to continue going forward. But pretty much how I got started, I started as an FPS streamer, playing Call of Duty and not really paying attention to numbers or community or anything really the right way. That I didn't look at streaming as a business aspect when I first did this. I very much looked at streaming as if it was just a way to meet new people and play video games and have fun. But once, I guess it was more of a reality when I made my first paycheck on Twitch. I was like, okay, wow, this could actually be something. I did want to be like Shroud or Ninja or all those people. I wanted to be like them in a sense. But I wanted to be different than them at the same time. And I knew what I needed to do. And so I started trying to build up a brand through Discord at first. And I failed through Discord and building up a community. And I really didn't know what my value was to the world. And I think that's really important to establish what sort of value you provide. And I know I always say that, but it really is a very important thing. But I just started building one step at a time, learning Discord. And fortunately enough, I've had people, really, really trustworthy people, to be able to help me through this process. Windswept and Ocean. Those are my two main management people that have helped me, figure out financial stuff and figuring out, Discord and tweaking things. And we've all just sat down together and really been able to push our community forward. Not only our community, but been able to help other communities as well. So I'm really thankful. Just the whole process. It's been kind of crazy. I can't really say how I've done it step by step because it just seems like, I don't know. It just kind of seems like it all has happened so quickly.
Yeah.
To be honest, it doesn't even feel like I've been streaming long.
Yeah. So, by the way, anyone who's listening, Ocean and Windswept, great people. Like I'm part of Cap's community too. I talk to them all the time. Like if you ever go into Cap's stream, like they'll be there and they'll talk to you a whole bunch. Like they're awesome.
They're great people. They're good people. Honest and trustworthy people. And I've had a lot of drama in the past.
Yeah.
We've gotten to where we are very good at eliminating toxicity. We don't allow that in our community. But in the past, when you're learning, you're kind of susceptible to those sort of things, and you just let those things kind of happen and you roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Really bad people throw me under the bus or lie and, try to get me in trouble with things. And you kind of learn as you grow. I think part of streaming is making a lot of those mistakes. And I think it's a good thing that streamers make mistakes, especially when they first start.
Yep.
Now I will say there's a plethora of videos out there like Rebecca makes, like I make on YouTube, that you guys can watch and really avoid a lot of those mistakes.
Yep.
But I think that's a big part of it, is making a lot of those mistakes. And I think you should study and look at analytics and look at just everything, all the details. Always pay attention to details within everything, even with building a community. It's a small step, but that can really push your career as a streamer further, I believe.
Yes, great point. I completely agree. Okay, so When you say that you failed a lot, what do you
Mhm.
mean by that? Like, what would you consider to be your failures?
Um, failures. I'm very hard on myself when it comes to streaming.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
very difficult on myself. I'm one of those people. Uh, if I'm not doing something or creating something or helping someone or something, then I feel like I'm not doing enough. My brain is geared towards that. I have a business on the side. I'm the same way. But the reason why I say failure, the ways that I have failed, is because, and some people might not view this as a failure, but it's a failure in my eyes, is
Mhm.
because my community, when I don't have Discord chatting a whole lot, or if I lose an abundance amount of people, some people might be like, oh well, it's just people, it just happens. And yes, it does, but there's always a reason behind everything. um and it's kind of like, imagine you have 3,000 followers on Twitch or YouTube, and then all of a sudden you have 1,000 now. You lose so many people.
Mhm.
Are you going to blame everything around you, or are you actually going to look within yourself and be like, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
That's why I'm very critical on myself. So if my community isn't functioning the way like a professionals should, like someone like Ninja, if my camera quality isn't like Ninja's, if everything isn't to a
Mm.
professional standard, then I need to constantly be tweaking and constantly need to be bettering myself, the way the way I speak, which
Yeah.
I'm trying to work on, because I used to have speech impediment when I was younger. So like there's little things. I'm always critiquing myself and always trying to better myself through everything that I do. So
Yeah.
that's why I would say I had failures with Discord. It's
Yeah.
because just along the way, I failed. I've
Yeah.
lost people. I've
Yeah.
gained people too, but
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know you had a speech impediment. I mean,
I
you're
did.
you're extremely articulate, so I had no idea.
I try. My brain works really fast.
Yeah. Okay,
I
so
try not to let that get me down.
yeah. So I'm going to go back to something that you were talking about before, because I actually had a question written down that was related to this about toxicity and handling, toxic people that come into your community. So, how do you and your moderators, first of all, how do you tell if somebody's toxic? Like, what's the line there for you? And how do you handle it?
Well, I believe that I think everyone knows there's a foundation that you have within yourself. I think morals is a very good code line that I think we all know, we're all conscious about what's good and what's bad.
Hmm.
I feel like
Yep.
everyone should at least be conscious. We're taught from a young age, you don't hit a woman, you don't say certain things, and like on my streams, like we don't talk about politics or religion
Yeah.
because those are super super controversial subjects. And if my chat, I don't speak on it, but if my chat like speaks on it, whatever, like I won't read their messages, but if they speak on it, whatever. But like if someone starts getting out of hand and starts like spewing too much, like too much hatred or toxicity, it's saying things like, I hope blah 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 gets bombed or something, like something really horrible or vile like that. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
We don't have I don't have time for that. I'm not going to deal with that. Um, Now, if someone makes like a stupid joke and they're like, "Hey, my bad. I didn't know your atmosphere was like this." If they come out like that, then I'm like, "Okay, cool." But I guess it's kind of hard to say because where you draw the line with toxicity, because I guess each situation is different. It's
Hmm.
situational. Um, but I think pretty much for the most part, everyone knows once they come into our community, it's very welcoming, it's very heartwarming, very loving. I
Yeah.
think that it kind of sets the tone of where the bar is,
Mhm.
even for those that come in and they kind of know not to be so toxic.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give to somebody that's just starting out? Let's say they had some toxic people coming in, but they don't want to lose the viewers because okay, I saw that face. You have
Yeah,
something to say about that.
I do.
Okay, how do you suggest somebody handles that even, when they're a small streamer, we don't want people to leave as streamers in general, but especially when you're just starting out and you don't have a lot of people, how would you tell somebody to handle this?
So you have to picture yourself of where you want to be,
Mm,
right, in the future. So if you are imagine you're on Ninja's level. Let's just pretend for a second that Rebecca has millions of people watching her, right?
Hmm.
Would you want your if you allow one or two right now out of, let's say, 10 viewers or 15 viewers, whatever you're at, that's a percentage of your total viewers, right? And not all of your viewers are bad, right? But if you allow two or three toxic ones, imagine what it'll be like once you have a million. So if you have 100,000 people watching you, let's just say, what if the majority, like 50%, is toxic? Is that something that you truly want? Or are you going to nib that in the butt right then and there as you're starting?
Hmm.
It's kind of one of those things. Me personally, when I do get big, because I do plan on continuing to stream forever. I've been full time for almost 2 years now. Um, I don't want a toxic community, and we've really done a well-rounded job with keeping bad people out. Now we're not like super strict or anything. We just have a
Yeah.
different atmosphere than most people are used to, I guess. But yeah, no, as streamers starting out, I would say that if you recognize that people are toxic, get them out.
Yeah.
Just get rid of them. It's not worth it. And yeah, it might be nice to have, that extra third viewer or fourth viewer, however many you're at. But is it really going to be worth it? Is that going to weigh you down later on? Is that going to cause you trouble later on? Because that headache, I promise you, it's a lot easier to get rid of toxic people at the beginning than it is to have a bunch of toxic people later on, and then you having to deal with multiple instead of just one.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like cut the disease out once it's small, not once it grows to
Yeah.
a thing. Because one person can really contaminate an entire community. They really can. One bad apple
Hmm.
can ruin it all.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I completely agree. Like you want to think long term. And also, even if you weren't like, also think about like if even if you weren't a streamer, if you weren't a content creator, like imagine you were talking to somebody and they made you uncomfortable or they were really toxic. Like, would you just accept that, like, in your regular non-streaming life? Like,
No.
probably not. Like, I mean, you might not like get into a fight with them, but you wouldn't just like accept it. Like, so think of it as just like you're just dealing with people and like your everyday life. Like if somebody was toxic, you probably just would, stop talking to them. It's the same thing with streaming. And
Yeah, absolutely.
I
I'm
would
not gonna
also
let
say,
anybody disrespect me,
right, yeah,
on stream.
exactly. Like we're all people and we should set our boundaries just like you do in non-streaming life. And I would also say that like even as a viewer too, you want to make sure you're not that toxic person in somebody else's community. It's not always so obvious to people because like I have a sense of humor where I joke around a lot, but not everybody understands that humor. But like I will make sure that people know that I'm joking. Like I go into Cap's stream and the first message I say is like, oh, what are the plebs on Twitch doing today? But like if people didn't know me, they'd be like, oh, that's rude. But
Yeah.
when I first met Cap in his community, I wasn't going in there and like typing those messages. Like I made sure that they knew me first and that I'm just joking around. And I would go in there and I'd be, all nice and stuff. And now I can now I can be making fun of them and everything, and they just know. But okay, listen, don't worry though. They make fun of me right back, so it's
Oh yeah.
it's a mutual. But
We love you. We love you over there.
I know
Rebecca.
I love you guys too, even though you're
I
on
know
the
it's the
platform that
I know it's
must
the
not be.
purple platform.
But see,
It is
I made sure that they knew I wasn't like a toxic person just coming in and being like, oh, what are these dumb idiots on Twitch doing today? So yeah, so you want to make sure that you like read the room, make sure the community gets to know you first before you start in with all the stuff that like people may not understand.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, it just no one likes toxic behavior anyways. I mean, I don't it kind of blows my mind that there are communities that, you know, hold so much toxicity in them, and then people are attracted to that sort of thing. And that to me is a very weird thing. But I guess people do like drama, and people do like, problems and stuff, but I don't want that. I'm a very transparent, honest person with my community. How you see me in real life is how you're going to see me on camera.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what it is. I might not be the most entertaining, but my community is not going to be drama filled. It's not going to be toxic. It's not going to be fueled by toxicity. None of that, because well, I don't believe that it benefits me in any sort of way, and I only want to do things in my life that benefit me or those around me.
Yeah.
We're here to grow as people and as streamers. So
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. Like there's entire communities just based around a mutual dislike of something, and that just feeds
yeah,
negativity and toxicity. And I mean, I know in my podcast and my streams on my channel, like I'm always like, oh, YouTube good, Twitch bad. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I make fun of Twitch all the time, bash on it all the time,
yeah.
quite freely, as you may have noticed. But I have Twitch people on my podcast, like Caps on Twitch, but he's still a friend of mine. I'm not like, I don't
Eh,
literally hate him because he's
I
on Twitch.
make YouTube content too,
He makes
and I
YouTube content too.
stream on there sometimes too.
What, you do?
I do stream.
I didn't know that.
Just recently though, I've been.
Okay.
I know I make content that help streamers on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I've been streaming like an hour or two before my purple platform streams, just for fun. Like FPS, just to kind of
Yeah.
play with the algorithm, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of test a few things.
Is it on your channel that you make videos on, your Caps Guy channel? Oh, it is?
Yeah.
When do you stream? When do you stream on YouTube? Because I must have just not been on when you stream, because I'm subscribed to your channel.
I've only streamed but a few times so far, so it hasn't been much so far. But
okay,
and it's usually FPS games, nothing.
Yeah,
it's not like my normal games. I'm kind of doing a bit different just to test the waters with some stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I'll check out your stream sometime. I'll have the YouTube link in the description if anyone wants to check out Cap's streams. He also does videos like tutorials on helping streamers out, so definitely check those out.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what would you say was the hardest thing for you about building a community?
The hardest thing about building a community is accepting that not everyone will be there for you at the end when you are successful. That is difficult.
Yeah, that's very. Now I'm sad.
Well, along the way, I know this sounds kind of bitter. It's not. Yeah. I've learned to recognize what I call rats or snakes, kind of like the people that really like root for you, and then they're not there. And then of course, like once you start, and you'll notice like once you start hitting like your uptrend of things, because every streamer goes uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, downtrend. When you start hitting your uptrend, they're like, oh man, blah blah blah, you're so amazing. And then dude, boom, downtrend, and it's like you don't hear from them for a while, and then you start doing really good again. And then all of a sudden, those people come back. Oh my gosh, Gaffney, you blah blah blah, you're killing it. It's like, okay, well I know who you are. And it's not to sound negative or anything like that. It's just I identify those people, and I'm just like, it's hard. And then the people that are, okay, let me back up a second. Let me get to your base core question. What is the hardest part? It's definitely recognizing that not every single person will be there for you. So like, for instance, I had a few people about a year and a half ago, that I was really close with, 3 or 4 people, right? Really, really close with. We'd stream, talk every day. I mean, voice chat every single day. I was really getting to know these people, and I really liked them. I got to know their personal life, and I was just super close. One of them I really, really liked a whole lot. And then all of a sudden, one left, and then the next left, and the next left, and then the next left. And so, that really, really hurt me so bad. And it made me really kind of look at people online differently for a while. And you shouldn't let that harden your heart, but it did, unfortunately. And so I really have a hard time. Obviously I have my circle, Ocean and Wind, I completely trust. They know me. I honestly, I would trust them with like my own bank financial stuff, because like that's how much I trust them. I love those guys so much. But for the most part, the most ordinary person, it's very hard for me to open up and trust, because of the situations I've been through like that, because not everyone will be with you to the very end. And that's just something you have to accept. You are in this. At the end of the day, your goal has to be something that you want. It's not for those around you. but it's truly what you want. Now, along the way, you should do your best to help out those around you, because I do believe that when you help grow those around you, you come up naturally with those people. I don't believe that you have to fight for yourself and throw people under the bus to get ahead. You know, you don't need to do that. But also at the same time, just I guess be aware that there's good and evil with streaming. There's good and bad people. There's people that want to see you truly succeed, and those people that are with you to the end, you should keep in your circle and hold on to them for dear life. For the
Yeah.
bad people, just recognize them and let them be. Don't try to call them out. Don't try to, be negative to them. Don't try to fight fire with fire. Just let them be and recognize them.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I totally agree. And I'm so sorry that happened to you. But I completely agree. Like when I first started with streaming and content creation, I was very naive, like I thought like literally everybody was
Everyone is.
so welcoming and everybody loved each other. And like, not to say that, there's not good people. You'll find good people, but I think it was a lot more toxic than I expected it. Like lots of people just trying to use you for views. They just want to use you for
Absolutely.
clout, and you'll start to learn who to weed out. Like you'll start noticing signs. I can't always explain it because it's just something that just clicks
It's
in your
hard to
brain.
explain.
Yeah, it is. It really
Yeah.
is. Like I don't know that, because people will ask me this all the time, and I'm like, I just don't know if I can explain it to people who it just hasn't clicked for yet. And then some people just never click for. Like they'll just keep trying to use people for views and clout and more followers, more subscribers, whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just rampant in the streaming community. But you start learning signs of, and you don't even like think about it. You just learn, like your brain, I don't know, your brain just unconsciously does something where it just learns to identify people very quickly, like who are the genuine people who like really want to become your friends, really want to help you
Right.
out, or people who just want to use you for clout or
Well, the
viewers or
worst
whatever.
the worst ones are the people that like on social media. Yeah, like my brand. A lot of it is actually truly help. Like I'll do one-on-one sessions. If people reach out to me, whether it be on Twitter or Discord, Twitter, social media, whatever, I will take time out of my day to help anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean anyone. I'll even sit there and talk to graphic artists who I know just want me to buy their
Yeah.
stuff. But I will sit there and talk to those people because I like to give people a chance. I really do. I like to talk to
Yeah.
people. I like to give people just a chance. Doesn't mean I'm going to, let them in or trust them all the way, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and talk to them and see if they need help, that sort of thing. Um, but the worst kinds of people are the people that are kind of like my brand. Well, they're nothing like my brand, but they're spewing positivity on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, and they're really trying to promote themselves as like this shining ball of light. And then you go into their communities and they're just super, super toxic
Mm-hmm.
full. And I'm just like, these people give like people like me a
Yeah.
bad name to streamers who are just starting, and it's just
Yeah.
it aggravates me, honestly. It really does.
Yeah.
But because,
Yeah.
then streamers are looking at me like, oh, he's just saying that
Right.
just to get people. And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm saying that because I truly want to inspire those around me. I truly want to see other people better themselves. When I see people better themselves, get to affiliate or partner, I'm rooting them on. I don't care if you're ahead of me or not, or behind me. It doesn't matter to me. We're all in this
Mm-hmm.
trying to do the same thing. So if you're doing good, then that's all I care about, honestly. If I can help
Yeah.
some people along the way, that's what matters.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's a lot of streamers out there that are like, oh, positive vibes only, chill, relaxed
Yeah.
community, no toxicity. Like, I mean, it's like every single channel on Twitch right now is like has those words in their description. And but those are just words. Like you have to go into the community, you have to find out what they're really like. I mean,
Mhm.
with Cap, I've been going into streams for a long time now. I don't even know how long it's been. It's been a while though. So, like I got to know Cap first before inviting him to be on this podcast.
Right.
Like you have to get to know people first. But I agree with you, Cap, that like you should give people a chance, because I mean, what would have
Absolutely.
happened if I never gave you a chance? Like, you wouldn't be here right now talking to me.
My
And
last name is Chance, so
well, there
give
you
me a
go.
chance. Just saying. True.
Yeah. Yeah, you should give people a chance, but just be very, just don't, give too much right away. Like, just see what they do with it first. Like, so I had a similar topic on my podcast, um and the title of the episode is how can you tell if somebody's fake, and I talked to another friend about this, and he was saying that he does the same thing, that he's put it this way. He said he leaves the door open, but then he watches very carefully what somebody does with that. So, if they just take, they just run a mile with it, and they're doing is dropping links and self-promoting and just trying to use him, like, immediately he's like, nope, not today, Satan. But, if they're nice about it, if they, don't take advantage of him, then he's like, okay, like,
Yeah, absolutely. That's something worth mentioning as well, is that in Discord, pretty much every Discord has a self promo section.
mm-hmm.
Watch how many people leave your Discord as soon as you take that out. Watch how many. It's great. I loved it.
Really?
Like I have around, I think, 800 members in my Discord. Obviously not all of those are like actives or anything like that, but I think when I had self promo in my Discord, and then I took it out and I lost, I think, probably close to 30-40 members, like, just
Wow.
quick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I lost a lot because people, it'll blow your mind how many people just truly want to self promote, and that is it.
Yeah.
They don't want to, truly put in the work that it takes to be a streamer, which is incredibly a huge amount of work if you really break it down. Like, no one really realizes what all goes on, especially behind the scenes. I really don't have days off. I'm constantly working on this because I want it.
And I'm guessing those 30 to 40 people were not active in your Discord except for posting in the self-promo channel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which I'm glad I got rid of my self-promo section. Honestly, it's made it to where, I've added more things that are, more community engaging. And I do think that, if you're a small streamer and you're just starting a Discord, I think one big beneficial thing that you can do is do community nights to draw your community down, like almost, I guess, stream in the Discord, do that sort of thing, get conversations going like that. That's a good way to get to know your community that you've built, even if it's 10, 20, 30 people, whatever, doesn't matter. Excuse me. Play Fall Guys or play Marbles or play something on stream, to where you can kind of, maybe I can get to know Rebecca more on a personal level if she was in my community and we played Marbles together. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's one of those things that's just personal connections that can draw you closer with your community. And not only that, but you can advertise that on social medias and say, hey, you guys, community night, whatever. Everyone always loves Marbles, Fall Guys, and what's that? Among Us. Everyone loves those games. Everybody. So stuff like that, it's a good way to grow your community and get things involved.
Yeah. So do you do community nights?
I did for a while. I haven't.
Yeah.
I know I'm saying this, but I haven't. I know I'm saying, oh, you guys do community nights, and then I did for a while. I haven't done one in a hot minute. I did a Fall Guys one that kind of got out of hand. It kind of blew my mind. We had like 20 people in a voice chat.
Yeah.
And had like 2 or 3 mods in there, and it was kind of a lot. It was kind of a lot to take on. So I was like, oof, it's a lot of people. So, which we had, I think, I want to say like 40 people play with us in Fall Guys, which was just insane to me. But it was a fun time. It just kind of scared me because it could have easily have gotten out of control. Let's say someone raged or said something, and not everyone was in my community. A lot of those people came from like Twitter and socials and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to, put a leash on and control those things. And I like to be someone that's in control of all of my socials and all of the stuff that I deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you think are the best ways other than community nights? What do you think are the best ways to stay engaged with the people in your community?
Well, this is something that I've learned. Discord is a really, really tricky place to really grow. And I think that social media, I'm going to kind of get into your question. Social media is one of those things. If you catch a trend, you can really blow up in followers and people really engaging in your content. Like on Twitter, if you catch the drifts of trends just right, especially if there's trends to do with streaming stuff, you can really blow up
Hmm.
overnight with that sort of thing. But with Discord, I haven't seen it yet to where anyone just blows up their Discord, and there's no sort of get rich quick or grow quick or anything like that unless you're buying stuff, which you're just wasting your time if you do that. So um so it's a slow process of getting one member per week, one at a time, slowly but surely. But I think that the best way you can keep things active is that conversation generates more conversation. So if you yourself as the owner are not active, how can you expect your community to be active as well?
Hmm.
Those people are there for you anyways, especially if you have your Discord built around you as the streamer. Um, you should be talking and you should have at least two or three people. I think what I call foundation, my ocean and wind, which is my foundation. Even if I'm not in the picture, they are handling things and making conversation, making friends, and talking to people, telling them about the captain's club, that sort of thing, to get people involved. They're doing that. They do a very good job with making new friends and bringing them in. I don't obviously I still need to be doing that, but I don't have to do it as much because they're doing it as well. Um, but as I'm generating conversation, so is wind, so is ocean. So that makes other people, in my community want to hop in conversations and tag along. If you don't start a conversation, you can't expect a whole lot of people to start a conversation. It's just not going to happen. So if you ever notice that your Discord's dead or it's not chatting for the whole day, be like, "Hey, what's going on, you guys? I'm having a great week." Even if you're talking by yourself, I know it might look pathetic, but you never know who's looking at that message and be like, "I'm having a good day too." Whatever. It's
Yeah.
kind of one of those things.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's treat it like you're posting on Twitter or a social media where it's completely public because you never
Absolutely.
know who's going to see it. Like some of my tweets, I'm surprised that some of these people see these tweets because you just never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to see what, even
It's
though
changed.
Discord is more
Twitter's
private.
changed so much.
Yeah.
The past with I'm not like diving into the controversy with Elon or anything like that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like just the algorithm itself has changed so
Hmm.
much in like the past 3 months. It's so weird. Like
Yeah.
3 to 6 months. It's been
Yeah.
weird. But I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm still I'm working on that. I had it down right before he bought the platform, but
Yeah.
it's slowed down for me a bit. I'm not gonna
I,
lie. It's a bit
yeah,
different.
every single day we wake up and something has changed on Twitter, and we have no idea what it might be the next day.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to rein that in, trying to figure it out. I think that learning algorithms is a super important thing.
Yep.
Recognizing those sorts of dynamic differences between platforms as a small streamer, that's important to get to know.
Yeah.
And you can figure that out by looking on YouTube or going on Google and literally looking at these changes that they've made.
We could
Um,
probably do like a whole episode on algorithms.
I could, I could talk hours about. I nerd
Yeah.
out when it comes to streaming stuff. I really do. I'm
Yeah.
very passionate about streaming,
Well,
and
that's good to hear because I have you in mind for some other episodes. So
we'll do it.
we're gonna talk about some of this stuff. If you have a good time here, maybe you didn't. I don't know.
Absolutely,
Um,
no, it's a good time.
okay, so just to add on what you were saying, Cap, like, yeah, you want to talk to people. Basically, it comes down to like talking to people, like talking to your community. So I know, a lot of people don't like streaming on YouTube because it's missing all those fun chat features that the platform that shall not be named have, which are very fun. I agree.
Mhm.
But what it comes down to is like those things add to your engagement, but what it comes down to is just like talking to people, like if you just like are very active in just talking to people, they will like that more than having a hype train or having like these emotes or
Absolutely.
I don't know, whatever else Twitch has. I mean, those are fun.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I miss those things. But
Yeah.
at the
No, I
core,
agree
it's
with
like
you.
talking to people.
That you are 100% correct. Look, I love Twitch, and I have built up my community on Twitch. But honestly, I think that even if you were to become a TikTok streamer or Instagram streamer, whatever, I think as long as you are learning that algorithm or learning how to build up your community on that whatever platform you go to, and you know the core fundamentals of streaming, which is you just being giving what you have as a person to your viewers, even if that's one or two people, I think that's fantastic. I don't think that you need the extra. I had a viewer one time tell me, he's like, "Oh, dude, I love your streams and I love coming in here. I love watching you, but I'll never be the streamer that you are because you have all the fancy, camera and fancy, razzle dazzle stuff. That's like
Yeah.
all of the hype train." I said, brother, you don't need that.
Yeah.
You don't need that. I started out with a Blue Yeti and just the basics, man, with a C920 webcam. That's what I started out with. I still have it around here somewhere. But the thing is, like, that's all you need. You just need a camera and a mic, build that personal connection, and talk with people. I've done this because I have a problem. I have a problem. I have to have like I'm always looking to better myself.
Yeah.
That's my problem. I'm OCD. I just got problems, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you don't need all that as long as
Yeah.
you're able to better yourself with conversations and talk to people and build connections. But the problem I think that most streamers have is that a lot of people are antisocial or have anxiety or have problems with going live or whatever and feeding into conversations, but then they expect to have 5, 10, 15, 20 people in their chat. It's like, well, that's not going to happen if you don't engage first. You have to be the engager. You have to go and attack life. You have to attack streaming. You can't sit on the defense and expect people to just come in your gates because it's not going to work. You have to go and attack. That's just the way streaming works.
Yeah. Yeah, like all those things, all those chat features, sound alerts, what have you, those are just enhancements to the engagement of your community, but you shouldn't rely on them to engage. And I always say, it's not like your community grows around you, it's not the platform. Because I mean,
Absolutely.
like Cap said, it's people go live on Instagram, they go live on TikTok. People are just using their phones. They don't have the camera, the microphone, the sound alerts, the hype trains, the emotes, whatever. They don't have any of that. And like, if you go on TikTok Live or Instagram Live, thousands of people are watching live streams on those platforms.
I have seen some people with the worst quality.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
And I'm like, bro, what am I doing wrong? But it's just the way, like, TikTok's algorithm is crazy good when it comes to live streaming. It just is.
Yeah.
But one thing that gets me, and I can't stand, is when streamers will crowd their, especially I see it so much on Twitch. Oh my gosh, and it drives me crazy. But when I see a streamer that has like no panels made or anything like that, and they just have like a donation panel that says like donate, that gives off just a bad signal to me. It tells me, hey, give me money. That's all I care about. I don't really care about putting in the work. Just give me money. That just looks wrong. But then you have the streamers also that have just the crowded overlays. Their cameras like this small, and you have like jungle theme and grass, and it's just like, what's going on in the street? I'm distracted by so many things.
Yeah.
Not even paying attention to you, who is the holder of the value. The reason why people should come back is because the streamer, not the game, not the fancy widgets and stuff, but because of you. That's why they should come back.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind that people don't see that, and I think that simple speaks much louder volumes than complexities. When you show too much stuff on stream, it just muddies the waters, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a big misconception that streamers are relying on their chat to do the engagement. I mean, even if you have 0 people in there, you should be talking, like, I mean, I will just talk to myself even if I have nobody in there. I will just
Yeah,
like talk about the game, talk about what I'm doing, like literally just saying what I'm thinking out loud.
absolutely. And you should.
Yeah. And that's the way you'll stay engaged with your chat. Like your chat will come in, like people will come into your chat and they'll hear you saying stuff and then they'll respond to what you're saying. So like you talking first, you talking comes first. Like
Hmm.
it's not the chat talking that comes first, which I think is a big misconception that people have, and
Yeah.
which is a very good segue into my next question, which is Cap. Other than that, what misconceptions do you think people have about building or having a community?
That it comes easy, that it'll come overnight,
Yeah.
and it doesn't. It takes time.
Wow, you
There's
had
a
a
lot of
very
misconceptions.
immediate answer to that.
Yeah.
So you must see
I
that a
mean,
lot then.
I've dealt with streamers for a long time.
Yeah.
I've dealt with YouTube stuff for a long time. It doesn't. I know I'm not always in the spotlight of YouTube, but or always. I don't always speak my mind about the things that I know because, well, no one asks me, so I don't say.
Yeah.
If there was a bunch of other lovely podcast people that invited me, I would spew all my knowledge upon everybody. But it just doesn't work like that. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of misconceptions out there. That's one, is that people think that when they get into streaming, uh, that they're going to just blow up overnight, or that they're going to make money overnight, and it doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. And if you're building this as a business, you have to really be critical of yourself and think of, the best ways and the most efficient ways that you can grow without damaging those around you, without causing destruction. Make a positive pathway and be an example for others along the way. I think that's the best way you can go. Another misconception is that there's one platform better than the other. I think that whatever platform you decide to go. I mean, obviously, each platform have their pros and cons, 100%. But I don't think that right now, as far as right now, I don't think that there is, since I've been streaming, there hasn't been one solid platform that's just way outweighing the other. I think that every single platform, it's like,
Hmm.
has its quirks, has its goods, all that sort of thing. And I think what the misconception is that people think that they can go to YouTube, build a huge community, and be thriving, or they think that they can go to Twitch and build a huge community and thriving, when really the groundwork comes to you pretty much.
Yeah.
You are the maker of your community. You are the maker of your journey. It has nothing to do with the platforms, in my opinion. It has all to do with how you market yourself and your value as the streamer.
Yeah.
Too many people are like, oh, I'll go to, I heard it back when I was on Mixer, oh, I'll go to Mixer and it's blowing up right now. And everyone went to Mixer, and then it shut down. And
Yeah.
no one blew up on Mixer. Everyone just was there just trying to stream, but it was just like every other platform. And it's always been like that. Then once Twitch was going through things, people said YouTube's better. And then like now then people are flip flopping back to Twitch. So it's like, I don't think Twitch is better than YouTube. I don't think YouTube's better than Twitch. And
Yeah.
I don't think really Facebook should even be a thing anymore. But that's just me. I think
Yeah.
the main two platforms you should be streaming on, obviously for business wise, the smartest moves would be Twitch and YouTube. And I think you should be doing both. If you stream on YouTube, you should probably consider streaming at least an hour or something on Twitch, just to soak up some saturation and tell people, hey, go follow me on YouTube, that sort of thing. Because you never know what kind of people you can reach through live streaming or content creation. At the end of the day, we're just trying to build a community up. That's how I look at it. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to also add on to what you were saying about people thinking that building a community is easy and it's going to happen for them like overnight. I also want to add on to like people want to go viral all the time and they think they'll just blow up and get a bunch of followers and get in a community immediately. And we see all these stories in the news and on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, whatever, about people just blowing up and then they get a whole bunch of followers. But you'll see them in the news for that one day. And you don't know if those 100,000 people that followed them are even going to come into their stream. And that they're not going to be a part of the community. Then they just heard about this one person because they like made the news or they went viral on TikTok or Twitch or YouTube or whatever. and people just clicked follow or subscribe and they never come back. So
Yeah.
just blowing up is not, is not building a community. Like there was a guy on YouTube that was talking about how he got raided by Tim the Tatman with 88,000 people, and the next day his numbers were just back to normal.
Yeah, I've seen it time and time again on Twitch too. There's multiple streamers on there that I personally know that I've seen them have 10,000 viewers, and they're typically averaging what I average. And then, it kind of makes me feel, I'm like, oh man, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
But they're catching the game that's blowing up or catching that update just correct, like just at the right time. Now, I kind of flip flop back and forth on that because I'm like, wow, they have 10,000 viewers and then they go back to normal. Sounds like they did something wrong. That's just that's how it looks.
Yeah.
But because I feel like out of 10,000 people, I should at least be able to capture 100 and influence them to keep watching me. Hopefully, I'm that much of a likable person. But it would really, I think that would bother me if I had 10,000 people and then the next day I had 50.
Yeah.
Or go back to my normal numbers. That would be kind of detrimental to me, I think, and really make me self-analyze a little bit too hard on myself. And I'm already hard enough on myself, so
yeah,
I don't know if I'd want that to happen. I'd want to blow up to I'd want to go up to the 10,000 mark slowly but surely, as I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this year I can hit partner on Twitch.
Yeah.
And possibly YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm really going for it this year.
Yeah, probably me too. Like I would probably be like, okay, I should have at least had like a few people come back, right. But basically like it doesn't always work that way. Even if you go viral, like there's no guarantee that those people are just going to become part of your community.
So I saw an update with No Man's Sky a while back, and all of these, there was probably 3 or 4 creators that averaged around the same, some of them lower than me. Some of them had, 20 viewers, 25 viewers, whatever.
Yeah.
And then this update came out and they blew up. They had several thousand. Every single one of them had 1,000, 3,000, 10,000 viewers. And I was like, holy crap, they caught that game just right.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see that happen. But then like a week goes on, a month, whatever. And then now I see them again streaming and they're playing different games, not the same game. And they're back down to their normal numbers. And I'm like, why did that happen? That's such a strange thing to me that you have 10,000 and now you're back to 20.
Yeah.
Like what? And then your followers are ramped up. So it's almost like you did follow for follow. You know what I mean? Because, they had probably 1,000 followers and now they're at like 8,000 followers because of that ramp up, but none of those followers, stayed. So it's just, I don't know why that happens. It's just a weird thing.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I should research that because I haven't really looked into that. I haven't really thought about that before. But yeah, I've seen that too, where maybe it's a new game or a new update and a streamer I normally watch has like thousands of more people than they usually do. Then next day they're just back to their normal numbers. I guess it's just, I don't know, whatever people just want to see at the moment.
That's such a weird thing.
I know.
You would think that like out of 1,000, you should at least be able to keep a percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
That could be a whole
back down to normal.
Yeah. Could be a whole nother episode, maybe.
Yeah. You never. Hey, I'm down. You let me know.
Okay. Okay. I will. You see, now you open that door.
Wow.
I'm gonna run with it. All right. So, how many platforms do you interact with your community on? Like, is your community on all of the platforms you're on?
Most of so like my Discord and Twitch intermingle with each other. So, I will on Twitch I will advertise, hey, you guys, if you're enjoying our community, consider typing in !Discord, join our Discord, whatever. Because I know that once they're in our Discord, then there's a going live. They get a ping that says I go live. That's the only ping that happens is when I go live, or if I have a special announcement, which I try not to make too many announcements. But anyways, so once they're in my Discord, then they're captured in. You're right. They're in the community, and it's super warm and welcoming. And then they go back to my Twitch because, they've already been to my Twitch. Now they're in my Discord. They're going to go back. It's kind of one of those things. But most of my community from Discord is on Twitter as well, and that's kind of where I express not just for my community, but just for streamers as a whole. That's where I try to speak to the crowd of people, or I might say things that are inspiring. I try to be inspiring and try to be a role model for other people as well. But those are pretty much the only platforms. So I would say Twitter, Discord, and Twitch are the main ones. YouTube, my community's on there too, because I always see them commenting like great video.
Yeah.
And I like that. I appreciate the support from that too. Which I tell them to go watch my YouTube channel sometimes on Twitch. But yeah, I would say those are the main platforms. Now I post shorts and everything. They like my shorts on TikToks. But it's not really, I'm not really, conversating with my community on other platforms. Really just Discord is really where I keep my community.
Yeah.
I think that's the best place to build a community is a Discord. And I don't think that you necessarily have to create a Discord to have a community. I think you can really be heavily involved with, let's say, another streamer. And let's say, like, if I were to mod for, let's say, you, right? And you had a big Discord and I was heavily involved with the things that you do. Well, then I think that both me and you can reap benefit from the entire community that me and you have built together.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I don't think you necessarily have to build one yourself because that is a lot of work. I do think it's worth it because you get to create things and you get to have control. I'm kind of a control freak when it comes to online stuff.
Yeah.
Not in real life, but online stuff. I have to be in control of things. I like to have options and change and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Discord.
Yeah.
Best place.
And you know what? I've seen people, well, only a few people. I've had some friends who created a joint Discord. So they all have their own channels. I mean, not a ton of people do this because these friends of mine, they're the only ones I've seen out of like all the Discords that I've seen. They're the only ones that have done this, but they have one Discord and then every streamer, I think there's like 5 of them maybe in there. And so they all like run a joint Discord together and each streamer has their own channel, named after whatever their username is on whatever platform they stream on. And then like they have one announcements channel and then they all just like run it together. They're all like the admins of it.
I think that could be super successful, honestly.
Me too.
Really do.
Yeah.
I don't now there's community servers or whatever that do the support for support or follow. Like, oh, we'll get you to affiliate, which I think is super harmful for streamers.
Yeah.
So stay far away from those groups. Those are horrible groups. Anybody that promotes getting you to affiliate is terrible. And because ultimately you as the streamer get you to affiliate, not anyone else. So just put in the work, do it yourself. But yeah, no, I think the streamer Discords, like if you have multiple streamers running it together and they all have kind of the same goal in mind, they're all on the same page. I really do think that could be beneficial. And I think that could work. Yeah. It might even advance all 3 of them better because now you have not just one streamer working on, building a community, but you have 3 working for it to benefit all, Yeah. I've never done it, but I can see in my eyes that could be beneficial. So.
Yeah. I thought it was a great idea because I'm not super active on Discord. And it feels like I have a Discord, but I'm not super active in it. It just feels like I'm kind of like there on an island by myself. So it'd be nice to have somebody to, like run it with me. But anyway, yeah, I think Twitter also is a great platform. Like Cap, I think that's how me and you met, is off of Twitter. Like, yeah, I think one of your tweets just like came up on my timeline and I just like, you asked something.
Feed into that algorithm.
Yeah. And I answered it. And then you replied back, which is another thing I would say is crucial to your engagement with your community. Like when you ask a question, like answer the people that answer you, like reply back to the people, or at least acknowledge that like the reply or something. If you don't have anything to say, but just acknowledge that you've like seen the reply, because I like as a viewer or somebody who joins other people's communities, I feel like I'm actually interacting with somebody when they reply or they like my reply. And
Yeah,
because I see so many people on Twitter that just post a question and they never answer anybody.
And they just like it and that's it. Yeah, I don't find it useful. I think that, well, most of the time, like I got to where, okay, so a while back when I was growing on Twitter, I blew up on Twitter pretty quickly. But I was kind of the first. I know that no one really cares about this or recognizes this, but I created the formats and I was the first one to do this. I swear to you, I swear. I know everyone does it now and I can't stand it, but the whole format as a streamer, comma, and then post your question, or hey streamers, comma, post your question.
Yeah.
That I created that. I did that. And then it blew me up overnight. Most of my questions and stuff were getting, ridiculous amounts of engagement, 300, 400, even up to like a few thousand likes and in comments and stuff per post. And it was just crazy amounts of people. I was having hundreds, probably 300 notifications per day, but they were questions that I truly wanted to answer. I'm like, holy crap, this is going to take me hours to go through and really like respond back to everybody. And I did it one at a time. I responded back to people, and whoever it was, if I said, hey streamers, what is the biggest struggle that you go through, blah 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 blah, whatever, and they say, oh man, growth, blah blah blah, I'll be like, well, what are you doing to try to grow yourself? Or what do I'd question back and I'd try to really feed the engagement to try to, you never know if you make a friend out of that sort of thing. So I always try to respond with that sort of thing. But yeah, I was the first one to do that. Now I see like everyone doing it, and I've really tried to cut back on it because I really think that trend has come and gone now. I don't think that that's a really solid way to grow on Twitter anymore. It blew me up and it's allowed me to meet a lot of people, but I still see so many people doing it. I'm like, I did that. I was the one. But anyways, that's a whole nother pet peeve of mine.
Yeah. All right. Well, everyone, you heard it here first. Captain Clutch is the one that created the as a streamer format on Twitter.
The format that blew me up.
All right. So, how does most of your community discover your streams?
Okay, that's a very good question. So, I think that one of the biggest things that streamers do is just play games that they want, right? Mm-hmm. They just play games based off of how much fun they'll have. And that's a good thing. You should play games based off of fun. But if you're building a business and you're trying to build this up as a streaming career, this is something that you want to sustain full time with checks coming in constantly, then I think that what you should do, like you say sometimes on Twitter feeds and stuff, you should be looking at the numbers. You should be looking at what games do as far as, how much feedback you'll get per game. So I test games out for like a week, right? Let's say I'll go to Valheim and let's just say I was starting out, right, with 0 viewers. And let's say I go to Valheim and I have 10 viewers. Well, then I go to, let's say, Conan Exiles, which is another game, and I have 2 viewers. And then the next week I go back to Valheim and I have 15 viewers. What game really worked for me? Mm-hmm. Valheim did. So then I'll stick with Valheim as a main game, at least for a little bit, 2-3 weeks, and really kind of main it for a while. Gather all the people that I can, because Twitch, its algorithm is it's jank. It doesn't really have a good algorithm. We all know that. But it's a very kingsmanship type algorithm. So as long as you are towards the top of the list, you will get recommended. And that's worked for me a lot with getting recommended and drawing more followers and viewers in. That's how I've been able to meet a lot of people through Twitch, is the whole kingsmanship thing and picking games strategically that look like they are beneficial for growth. Not picking a game that's 20 years old, unless I just really want to, like Witcher 3, for instance. I just got done playing Witcher 3. I knew that wasn't going to be like super beneficial for me because it's super off topic of what I typically play with my community. I play adventure building crafting, and then now this is a story game. It's kind of different. Mm-hmm. But I really wanted to play it because I like, Geralt of Rivia. I like all that. I like Witcher and swords and stuff. I think that stuff's cool. And I didn't grow from it, and I knew the numbers weren't good, but I just wanted to play it just to test it out. But I ended up meeting a few people along the way, which was nice. A few Witcher lovers, which I was kind of surprised at. But it didn't do super, super good. but I did it because I wanted to. But if you're truly wanting to grow as a streamer, I think that looking at all of the numbers, your analytics and everything, and really analyzing them is super, super beneficial. Try not to, don't let it get you down. And if that's something that gets you down, like take a step back from it, but then come back to it because it's important. It is important. And you should very much look at that. That's your key to success is looking at what you've done. And it has nothing to do with, maybe I didn't have enough overlays or anything like that. It's just that sometimes you can pick wrong games. That is part of it. Sometimes you can pick wrong games. Maybe you don't have enough conversation going. There's so many variables. It's a multiple variable situation when learning how to grow. And all you can do is process of elimination and eliminate one at a time and figure out which one is the best way to help you grow as a streamer.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is yeah, it was a lot, but I think that was a lot of good information. I agree. First of all, this is something that I've started saying recently is that, if we want to grow, like, because some people do not care about growing really, but I find that most people do, right? So if we want to grow our channel, like we should look at it like a business. I feel like a lot of people are treating streaming like a hobby, but then they expect it to grow like a career. And
bingo.
People are just not, doing what they need to do to grow it like a business. And I have started saying this lately too, is that there should be a balance between what you want to play and what people want to see. Because you play whatever you want? Yeah, of course. But it doesn't mean that people are going to want to see it. So you should look at it like a business. Right. Like, what do people want to see? But if you are completely uninterested in the game, it's not going to make good content.
Right. Yeah, you have to look. I look at video games kind of like music. I'm a lover of all music. I love music in other languages that I don't even understand. But I don't know, just music draws me in and I love it. I love chill music, rap, country, rock, whatever you got. I love it. I love music. And video games are kind of the same way. I think that's why I like streaming so much, is because I really can't. I can go and play Minecraft, and then I can go play like Red Dead Redemption or something and still enjoy both spectrums of games, or Stardew Valley, whatever. I can play whatever and have fun and enjoy it. And I feel like I can make pretty good content out of it. But also, I also, on the business side of me, recognize that, okay, well, does this game have 60,000 viewers? Well, that's probably not going to be good if I only have 3 viewers. There's a lot of people streaming that game, and the probability of me being found is very slim. So I need to play a game that's much smaller. You're a small fish, and so you have to play a game, quote unquote, small tank. Get yourself in that small tank. And so like games that have, 300 viewers, 400 viewers, well, with 5 views, you'll be towards the top, of those games. And there's only like 20 people streaming the game. Well, good. That's perfect. Yeah. I think that can really help, especially newer games that are like that. Like new release games, I think are solid. I know this one guy on Twitch was averaging like 10 viewers, right? And I was averaging like around 30. And then now all of a sudden he's passed me up. Like he averaged, I'm averaging, right at 50 now. And he averages, like 60 and almost 70 most times. But all he does is streams new release games. That is it.
Yeah.
And sometimes he'll play other games that he wants to. But literally 90% of the time he plays new release games. And sometimes there's like, you'll go to the game he's streaming. There is nobody streaming this game. And he is the only person streaming it. And yet he has more viewers than he typically does, because there's still a following for those games. And you got to think the dev creators, the owners sometimes will reach out and give you free content of these games, or free codes, free whatever, free keys.
Yeah.
Just so you'll play their games. People reach out to me all the time to test their games. And I'm just like, sure, I'll look at it, but I don't know.
Yeah. And this is another way you could engage with your community, is literally just ask them what they want to see. Like, what kind of game would you like me to play? Like, you can just directly ask them. I posted a poll on my community page on YouTube, and it literally said, what should my next game be? And I had a list of like 5 games, and people voted on. I tried to say voted and Pokemon at the same time, and it came out poked.
No, you're good.
Sometimes my thoughts go faster than my mouth.
I work the same way.
So people voted on Pokemon Violet, so that is the next game that I played.
Nice. Yeah, I think polls in chat are an excellent way to kind of get an understanding of what your community likes to see. If if you say, hey, what should my next game be, or while you're streaming a game that is kind of different or out of your realm, like for instance with me and Witcher, it was kind of different, and we did put a poll up in our chat. It said, do you like story games or do you like Witcher? And we got a lot of positive results from that. A lot of people liked that.
Yeah.
Now the content was a bit different because adventure building crafting games like Valheim or Conan or Ark, I'm constantly talking and I'm constantly like, oh, hey, we're going to work on this, or we're going to build this, or we're going to go to this dungeon. I'm always talking about something. Whereas Witcher, there's a lot of, scenes and cinematic scenes and stuff like that. So I'm not talking during those scenes, and I'm letting chat kind of vote, the dialogue selections, the 1, 2, 3, or 4. I'm like, hey, chat, 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then they'll vote. So my chat's kind of quiet and they're just watching because it's like a movie.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit weird for me to stream those kind of games because, on adventure building crafting here, my chat is just talking. But then on, Witcher, it's just kind of a, I've got all my community in there and they're just being quiet because it's like a movie.
Yeah.
So it's just a weird thing. But
yeah. No, I understand. I play those kinds of games mostly, like RPGs and action adventure games. And then there are times where you just like don't have anything to say. Like if you're just running around as Geralt and you're just like running to the next town, like what are you gonna say? Like, oh yeah, I'm just riding my horse over to the next town. Like, yeah,
Yen, get my sword. Yeah, the game is good. It's just a weird dynamic is all, but
yeah,
I think it is a good way to, if you tell your chat and throw up a poll in chat, I think even if it's 1 or 2 votes, I think that's a positive way to kind of allow your community to kind of interact with your thoughts.
Yeah.
And your direction of wanting to stream certain games. I think that can be beneficial.
Yeah.
Because it shows that that you care.
Yeah. And at the same time, you're finding out what your audience wants to see, which is a very important thing for a content creator. I feel like a lot of people just think of this as kind of like a personal thing, and they're like, I'm just going to do whatever I want. And
it's not always about that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm out of questions. Cap, do you have anything else that you want to cover, or any other questions you have?
I could talk hours and hours and hours about anything to do with streaming or YouTube or whatever. You say something and I'll
oh boy. Okay, I will.
I'm just saying.
Okay. All right. Well, we will definitely have you on, and when I say we, I mean me. I'll definitely have you on for another episode. I'm really excited that you did this with me. I think we had a great conversation. I mean, we always have great conversations even outside of the podcast. Cap, here now, at the end of the episode, here's your chance to talk about your streams. We've talked about what games you like to play, but feel free to plug anything else. What you post on YouTube, go into more detail, or whatever else you want to plug. Feel free to do it here.
I guess I would say Twitch. Twitch is the main platform I'm streaming on as of right now. Playing around with YouTube, of course, but my YouTube is mainly there to help out other streamers because I do think it's beneficial that we push other streamers forward. I think another big misconception, like you said earlier, there's a lot of people that think that platforms are oversaturated and that the less streamers is better. Although I think that the theory is wrong on that. I think that the more streamers there are, the better the platform is. It adds more communities. It adds more. You wouldn't say, oh man, I wish the population was less. Well, now you're getting rid of engineers and scientists and doctors. That you're not making it better by taking away the majority. You're making it worse. So I think by adding in more streamers, I think that betters the platform. So I was going with that.
Okay, so while you're thinking, I just want to add on here that just because you're on a different streaming platform, it doesn't mean you can't join communities with another streamer. I mean, I'm on YouTube, Cap's on Twitch, but we still interact with each other a lot. I mean, like I go into his streams on Twitch, we interact on Twitter, he'll come into my streams on YouTube. Like it doesn't mean that you can't like connect with each other even if you're on different platforms.
Yeah, we're friends, and I think that, well, the majority of Twitch streamers are like Twitch and that's it.
Yeah.
Or I'm not secluded to one platform. I'm simply a businessman looking to make the best out of my situation and my community and everything else like that. So if Twitch is going to be beneficial to me, and from what I've researched, then that's what I'm going to go for, and I'm going to tackle that. But if also YouTube's going to help out with promoting this, or YouTube's going to help out within itself, maybe maybe I can create income on their monthly income, then that's what I'm going to attack.
Yeah.
These are business modules that we can look at, and you have to decide which one is better for you to attack, which one is faster in growth or more growth in the long term. You have to look at it and break each one down. All of the social media platforms, all the streaming platforms, you have to really truly look at them and break them down one by one and analyze which one is going to be better for you. Not even really just better for you. You should really tackle all of them eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Tim the Tanman. He's got like 3 YouTube channels.
Yeah.
And I think that people that stream on Twitch and do YouTube and do TikTok, I think if you do it all, I think that's very beneficial. I think when you're starting out, it's not. I know that's different. That's just my perspective. I think when you start out, trying to do them all at one time is probably not beneficial. You should learn one at a time and really grow up and blow up on each one at a time, because then you kind of learn your skills along the way.
Okay.
I think if you try to do all of them at once, you get overwhelmed.
Okay, hold on. Stop helping people. This is about you. You're supposed to be plugging yourself. Stop helping other people.
I like helping, so I'm sorry. It just comes natural. Twitch. Follow me on Twitch, Captain Clutch _64. The Captain's Guide is my YouTube channel, so go follow me on there. I make videos that help out streamers with all different sorts of ways. And Twitch, it's my home. So
yes, and I will have all the Cap's links in the description, like I said. So very, very easy to click on one and go follow Cap everywhere. All right,
just do it.
Just do it. All right, Cap, thank you so much for being here. We will definitely have you on in another episode. Guys, thank you so much for listening. I'll see you in the next episode.
Y'all for having me.
Bye.